Hello everyone and welcome to Sweat's Cuisine. My name is Harper if you did not know, and today I am going to taste test and review Marie Callender's my brain does not like that name, but more or less I think it's Callender's, it might be Collender's, it might be something else that I cannot pronounce, so we're just gonna deal with that. 4-cheese Fettuccine Alfredo bowl. So as usual for these frozen dishes that I got from the frozen food section of my grocery store, I am going to see, number one, does the dish look kind of like the artificially made, very well stylized, marketed picture, as you can see right here. So you know, how bad is the reality versus the expectation? And then more importantly, does it actually taste good? And do I think it's worth your time and money versus like making it yourself or whatnot? I have very lower standards because of the whole like this is a frozen food section food, but I try to be as critical as I need to be. I sound very fancy right now. Also, I apologize if the lighting is like weird and wacky throughout this video. I have no ring light today, so we're using natural lighting, and sometimes she doesn't like me. So more or less from there, let's see how this looks and then cook it up. Okay, so we have the package right here. I hope you can see that. I cannot really see a lot right now. I do not have my glasses on and the camera's far away. Fun fact, behind the scenes footage moments with moi. I have a feeling that doesn't really look good though, so I apologize. I really can't see anything, so I probably shouldn't freak out. But we are dealing with this beautiful monstrosity. Can you even see that? That is a really good question. I hope you could. More or less, it's just, it looks like fettuccine alfredo, but kind of congealed. But from there, I am going to cook this for 3 minutes, stir, and then, you know, continue like that. So I'll get back to you when this is done. Okay, so I put the exposure down a little bit, so I'm hoping that you can still see what I'm doing. But more or less, I had a lot of worries making this, heating it up, because the first time, you know, it heated up, because it was, you know, it was a two-parter heating. Does this make sense? But more or less, I had to heat up for like 3 minutes and then heat up again for like 1 minute. The first time through, it looked really disgusting. Everything was like pulling apart, like the oils were like, what's it called? Tearing away, pulling apart, you could say, from the liquid. So it was just really was disgusting. But then like, I think it turned out really well with, you know, I was worried that it wouldn't be creamy. It looks creamy at least. It feels creamy by the fact that I'm looking at it. I'm gonna stop acting stupid, but more or less, I want to pour it in a bowl because why not? I also am kind of stalling because I really want this to cool down a little bit because I don't want to burn my mouth off, so I can't actually taste what I'm eating. But from there, it looks pretty average, okay, good, you know? You're kind of getting exactly what you are told. It's fettuccine alfredo, so it is kind of hard to like say, oh, it's gonna look totally different from what it's told to look like. My only like issue is I'm worried that the pasta is overcooked, because that happens a lot when it comes to you know, freezer pasta dishes. Also that it's under seasoned and that it's kind of weird and watered down. I haven't had it yet, I'm just putting out my worries. Okay, so we have the pasta and let's see how it actually tastes. So just gonna mix it around one more time. I'm still stalling, I apologize, but let's see how it actually tastes. I've come to a point in these reviews that if it needs seasoning, I'm giving it seasoning, because I am not going to suffer just because I'm reviewing something. I want to at least taste, you know, enjoy my food, especially when I'm paying, you know, a little bit more than it probably is worth. It's definitely worth. And that goes for all, like, you know, freezer aisle foods, I feel. They're all overpriced, but more or less, let's continue on. Okay, so I've had the whole bowl of fettuccine alfredo, so let's talk about it. Number one, straight off the bat, I'm a very small person. If you could not tell, I am very small and my metabolism died many years ago according to my pseudoscience of me observing how my body reacts, which means also that I'm filled up very quickly. So for me, like a 5'2", if I'm lucky on some days, person whose metabolism is probably just not very there anymore, to be honest right now. I was full from this dish. I kind of see that as a really, really big win because there's not a lot after that. But I want to throw that out immediately. I'm full, I'm satisfied when it comes to, not feeling hungry afterward, which I do feel like is a very important component to my review usually when it comes to like, hey, I'm paying like an extra for this because I want to have a quick meal that fills me up. This filled me up. Will it fill you up if you are like, somebody bigger than me? Maybe not, but for me, I'm filled up, and so I'm giving it a more favorable review in that realm, but everything else is kind of downhill from there. This is incredibly watered down. Like, it's hard to really explain, but like usually like, your Americanized fettuccine alfredo pasta that everyone gets usually, it is like this beautiful balance of both like cheesy, like you can taste the cheese, you can taste the parmesan, you can taste the alfredo, you can taste like all the beautiful cheeses and spices, but it's also this very beautiful like creamy consistency. It does have a creamy consistency, like there's no graininess at all, there's no like watered down texture, but it tastes watered down. Like it tastes like a shadow of a fettuccine alfredo pasta that like you would make at home by yourself. Like it's just like this super weird, just like chemicalized dish where like you can kind of taste where it could go right, but it just falls short, and that like falling short you can really taste. So more or less, does not, texture wise, it's not watered down, it's not grainy, but it's incredibly watered down taste wise, which in my opinion is kind of way more important. Another thing is, like I had worried, the pasta is almost overcooked. There's this very, very thin and slim border between overcooked pasta and perfectly done al dente pasta. This is perfectly in the middle, leaning a little bit too overcooked. Like you could say that like if this was in like the oven or like, the microwave or whatnot for like another minute, it would be overcooked. Like that's how overcooked it tastes, which is not good. And this is coming from somebody who accidentally undercooked her pasta when she made fettuccine alfredo. So like, I'm saying a lot when I'm saying that. Honestly, I was kind of limping through this eating process. You can probably see from like the footage, I had to season it with more salt and pepper, and even then it tasted, bland too. So it was watered down, it was bland, and the pasta was almost overcooked. 3 things that make pasta really bad. The only saving grace is the fact that I'm full from this pasta, and that the actual sauce itself was actually still unnaturally creamy. After that, I honestly did not like this. I thought it was not worth your time. I think it's like $3, almost $4 at the store. I don't think it's worth your price. I think that you can easily make this by yourself, bigger portions for a little bit more. And if you are good at making fettuccine alfredo, or at least competent in making fettuccine alfredo, you will make a way better dish than this concoction, Marie Callender's concoction. When it comes to my rating, 1 to 10, 1 being I can't even finish, it's absolutely disgusting, 10 being wow, it's actually really, really good, it blew me away, I'll have this again actually, it's better than I could make, I would give this a solid 4. It is below average. And again, for these ratings, I kind of like, keep my standards a little low because they are freezer made meals. So when I say it's a 4, it's not that good. I don't think it's worth your time. I think it's kind of revolting in many ways, and I might have a stomachache after this because I can already feel my stomach kind of reacting really poorly to it. So my slight lactose intolerance might be another factor in why I dislike this dish. But with that being said, that is really all for today. So of course, if you like this video, click like. If you want to see more from watch, just subscribe. But with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I will stay safe, and as usual, goodbye.